I think you might be my favorite. Shh, don't tell the others.
The puppet is still and silent.
A visitor. Tell me, do you like puppets?
The toy seller nods and smiles, clearly not listening to a word you've said.
Wonderful. Here, take a look at this.
The puppet springs to life.
Would you like to play? Impressive, no? There's a lot of craftsmanship in that small package. Quite a lot. Now, what can I do for you? I haven't had many callers of late, what with all the fuss and hubbub that's been going on outside. Sauce, what else? Each and every one of my darlings has a little bit of magic in them. It turns a mere toy into a friend. I'm on good terms with the Divine Order. They know what my work entails. They've even had use for me in the past. I have nothing to fear from them. Oh, no, not at all. I use only the smallest sprinkle of sauce in my work. I'd hardly think a Voidwoken would set its sights on me and my darlings. I love my work. I love the possibilities of it all. The idea of engineering something to perfection. But one aspect always fails me. People. Fallible, mortal, irrational people.
He throws an adoring glance to one of the puppets.
My darlings aren't like that. They are pure and beautiful. They don't make mistakes, and they don't question my desires. I don't need others anymore. I have something better. Myself and others, some of the finest feats of engineering ever conceived guard the remains of the divine. The Path of Blood was our masterpiece. Now I'm the last one alive, the last engineer of the cathedral and its secrets. I've retired and found a new calling, these wondrous darlings. One of my late colleagues designed them for the cathedral, little wind-up sentries to guard against intruders. Now I busy myself turning the surplus into toys. It truly feels good to spread a little joy in my twilight years. It is a feat of engineering, a modern marvel, unmatched in quality anywhere in the realm. I should know, as it is my greatest work to date. But you should broach more practical matters with Lord Protector Ahu, the keeper of the cathedral. You should find him in his chambers there. What of it? Consider me at your service if you need anything else.
The puppet looks at you with what almost amounts to curiosity. You detect source coursing through its inner mechanisms, lending it the appearance of sentiency. The desk is locked tight. The desk is locked tight. Instead of a keyhole, there's a gill. You take a nearby quill and dip it into an inkwell. The black ink turns blood.
Ready.
Would you like to play?
The puppet looks at you with what almost amounts to curiosity. You detect source coursing through its inner mechanisms, lending it the appearance of sentiency.
Alarm! Alarm! Intruder! Alarm! Fetch Papa! Oh, kill intruder!
Darlings, how dare you?
to none. I'll yield to none. Junk.
Now is not
You
the
see
time
yourself
for a
in the
bath.
mirror.
It's quite a sight. Note the blood. Note the blood. The spirit looks at you with deepest indignation.
I will tell you nothing. My work is my legacy, and that of my fellows. I will not betray them.
The spirit looks at you with deepest indignation. The spirit cowers and tries to beg for mercy, but it's too late. He is consumed, his spectral wails lingering in the air even after he is gone.
I am alive. I am happy. Play with me. Cornered.
Doesn't it? Glory is mine. Stop with you.
Scratching the pole does wonders for your nails.
This again? Where are the children? Yeah!
Prepare yourself. I'll yield to none.
It seems I can't use that right now.
The desk is locked tight. Instead of a keyhole, there's a gilded inlay that bears an engraving. It was all for you. Beneath this sits a framed square of blank parchment. The parchment stares back. The desk is locked tight. You take a nearby quill and dip it into an inkwell. Then you poise its tip over the framed square of parchment. The black ink turns blood red as it touches the parchment. A burst of energy shoots out from the desk and shocks you. The desk is locked. You take a nearby quill, and the ink is absorbed into the parchment until it vanishes. Somewhere within the desk, a mechanism unlocks with a click. You see yourself in the mirror. It's quite a sight.
Hunters, I've got the wares you need. Giant Slayer, may the land sustain you and the wild game feed you, friend.
Nature provides.
As opposed to this going.
You a hunter?
Mixed.
I've got just the thing.
The most do return, should you find it necessary.
Hunters, I've got the wares you need.
I can hear voices. We shall tread. God makes the world.
I serve all who seek. May the gods watch over.
Bodies in the streets. This place isn't free, not anymore.
I'm not picky, as long as the arrow flies straight.
I heard that the paladins killed unarmed magisters. Didn't even let them surrender.
Not too loud. What do you think the paladins would do to us if they heard you going wrong like that?
Arks is still a free city, last time I checked.
There's bodies in the streets. This place isn't free, not anymore.
I heard that the paladins killed unarmed magisters. Didn't even let them surrender.
Not too loud. What do you think the paladins would do to us if they heard you going wrong like that?
Arks is still a free city, last time I checked.
There's bodies in the streets. This place isn't free, not anymore.
All those broken arrows. Got your work cut out. Some are still good. I'm not picky, as long as the arrow flies straight. Trouble ruining the ancient empire. Dallas strengthens the defenses.
I welcome newcomers and natives alike. We shall tread. We shall talk.
As opposed to this going. Very funny.
Hunters, I've got the wares. Suspect in Alexander Murder found dead in Driftwood.
I welcome newcomers and natives alike. We shall trade. We shall talk.
I heard that the paladins killed unarmed magisters. Didn't even let them surrender.
Too loud. What do you think the paladins would do to us if they heard you going
I
wrong
welcome
like that?
newcomers and natives alike. We shall trade. We shall talk.
Last time I
All
checked.
those broken arrows. You've got your work cut out. Some are still good.
Not anymore.
I'm not picky, so long as
The
the arrow
most do
flies
return, should you find it necessary.
straight. Hunters, I've got the wares you need. What a pile of junk.
The dwarf's armor looks as if it weighs half a ton, yet he moves with alarming ease. You note his insignia, a snarling wolf.
Browse the shop as you please. Wedding? You're so late it's almost time for the funerals. Talk to the guard inside if you want to leave a gift or a message of condolence.
The dwarf stands straight and tall, or at least as tall as a dwarf can manage.
I'm a member of Her Majesty Queen Justinia's Royal Regiment. Special Officer, rank 1, sir. I'm not at liberty to discuss that, sir.
Through his visor, you can only see his eyes, but there's something in them that belies the steely exterior. The guard's breath catches. He squeezes his eyes shut, blinking away the pain. When he speaks, it's in a low whisper.
Please, stop talking, please. This is the wedding day of the daughter of the merchant Ros. Her Royal Highness Justinia, the breath and balm of Duna, detailed us to protect the guests.
He winces, the pain evident.
We failed. Wasn't enough, as it turns out. Void-woken attack. I'm told the Queen is safe, but whether she's still inside, I can't say. So many dead. At least the bride and groom survived.
Much good it does now that they're gone. Now, the store is open. Do your business and be on your way.
I welcome newcomers and natives alike. We shall trade. We shall
For the safety of Rivellon, report
The
all
store's
sorcerers
open.
to the nearest
Do your
magistrate.
shopping.
Should do a stock take. Maybe tidy the shelves.
Hold it right there. Private wedding party. No entry.
She gives you a steady, defiant stare.
I don't know anything about the sewers, and I don't think you do either.
She narrows her eyes, suspicious.
Lohar sent you, did he? You're late. But I guess that's a good thing. I'll unlock the door for you.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Sorry, it's been, quite a day. You need a hand with anything, let me know. Don't know much. Everyone was out in the garden for the wedding. I was watching the shop and then guards were everywhere, but those beasties just cut through them like butter. Boss said to keep the doors open, but truth be told, I feel ill just standing here. By Duna, closing can't come fast enough. You and me both. Worked for Ross for a decade. I'd half expected an invitation of my own. But even with half of Arx lying dead in his garden, he still wants the shop open. Then again, if I'd been at the wedding... The fact that the boss loves counting his pennies is probably the only reason I'm breathing. That said, it doesn't feel right to be hawking wares with that next door. Job's the job, though. Can hardly leave Arx with naught but empty pockets. I don't know what you're talking about. Everything we have is on the shelves. Oh, all right. You can have a look. I'm not planning on sticking around. So what difference does it make? You'll find we have some interesting specials today.
If I was in the garden.
I welcome newcomers and natives alike. We shall trade. We shall talk.
Bloody void woken at a wedding. If that ain't a bad omen, nothing.
Not bad, eh? Take care of yourself.
Voidwoken, here! And who'll clean up that mess in the garden?
Nothing sacred.
It'll be me, the new guy.
Party's over if that ain't obvious. Best go home.
He looks you up and down.
The sooner the better.
He takes a deep breath, then lets it out again, slowly.
Out in the garden. Beautiful sight. Till the Voidwoken showed up. It was a goddamn bloodbath.
Bloody void woken at a wedding. If that ain't a bad omen.
God, I am so sorry. How could I have known?
She looks up at you with glassy eyes, wiping her tear-streaked face on one brocade sleeve.
A girl's wedding should be the happiest day of her life. I can't accept them. I know you mean well, but how can I celebrate now? Void woken on my wedding day. At least my loving husband is still with me.
She turns and waves one timid hand to her husband on the balcony. He offers an apathetic grunt in return. She blinks back tears from her pink-tinged eyes.
Please forgive him. He's broken up. It's a lot to take in. We lost so much in the blink of an eye. What else? We're both torn to bits.
She takes a shuddering breath and idly itches her face. You'd expect her cheeks to be ruddy from tears, but they are pale instead, almost translucent, revealing the vessels snaking underneath.
I don't know how this could happen. Who would have seen it coming?
She looks down at her feet. Seeing her blood-spattered wedding slippers, her face crumples and tears spring from her eyes.
I should be so happy. Everybody should be so happy. But before we could even cut our wedding cake, there were voidwoken everywhere. We barely made it indoors alive. But not everyone was so lucky. I can hardly bear to think of them. Their wives and husbands and children back in the kingdom, left to grieve alone. What are you insinuating? We're merchants, not mystics. You should have seen those void monsters. All that blood, all that death. They didn't deserve... We didn't.
She buries her head in her hands, sobbing uncontrollably.
I'll be drawing breath now.
Is the pig in this painting wearing a crown? Someone must really love the little porker.
Is the pig in this painting wearing a crown? Someone must really love the little porker.
I'm lucky I was posted indoors.
Is the pig in this painting wearing a crown? Someone must really love the little porker.
Is the pig in this painting wearing a crown? Someone must really
The
love
woman
the
cries on.
Justinia's dead father. The shorter they come, the quicker they fall. Justinia's dead father. Justinia's dead father. The shorter they come, the quicker they fall.
The dwarf stares grimly into space. Rings adorn his fingers, some of which glitter with ornate rose-tinted jewels. You notice one has a gem missing.
If you'll excuse me, I'd just as soon be left with my thoughts. Oh, you've met my new mother-in-law, have you? I swear it. Old Man Ross has an unhealthy attachment to that animal. I prefer it when they come in the form of rashers. Yes, it's been a horrendous day. Still, it's a fine match. With her assets and my name, that is to say, we will be a force to be reckoned with.
He glances over at his distraught bride as she takes another sip from her goblet.
Events like today's do have a way of putting things in perspective. There's much to be gained from this alliance. It survived the Voidwoken after all. Out with the old, in with the new, I suppose. Yet... Old Man Ross left the incident quite unharmed.
Love? Tuna's beard. Is that what passes for sense among the lower classes? She is quite enamored with me, of course. I can be, well, irresistible. But no. In my family, marriage is a more practical matter. Our union means I can continue my work. A job? Oh, please don't be churlish. I'm no dairymaid desperate for her next meal. I follow my passion. Alchemy. Potions which, at a sip, can heal or kill. Can grant strength, speed, or compliance. Which have the power to transform base metal into gold.
He glances across the room, where his betrothed is pouring herself another goblet of wine.
Yes, indeed. Our union will definitely be of value. Even with today's rather dark start.
I appreciate your candor, but please have a little discretion. I would hate for my new family to get the right idea. Not that it matters now, mind you. We are wed till death do us part. It will be a long, long life. I bet you heard. I bet everyone is talking about this cursed wedding. Perhaps my warhorse of an aunt is right. Perhaps this is what I get for debasing myself. Still, what's done is done. The marriage is final. That's the important thing.
People die all the time. Weddings aren't exempt. Not even my own. Unfortunately, sometimes people survive beyond their usefulness.
The groom looks you over with a sneer and mutters,
No, I don't think you'll be of much use.
He turns back to the window with a grunt, anxiously twisting the rings on his fingers.
My lord, I beg your pardon, but the feast...
Bloody void woken animal.
A well-dressed dwarf paces swiftly around the room, overseeing the packing of trunks. He gives you a cursory glance, worry etched on his face.
Yes, thank you for coming. Indeed, it would have been a beautiful ceremony if only... Dark times. Dark times indeed. Safe home to you now.
He quickly turns away and casts a worried gaze around the room, counting something on his fingers.
Oh, terribly sorry I mistook you for a guest. It was my daughter's wedding today. Void woken. At a wedding. Oh, it's too ghastly to contemplate, and yet it happened right here. My poor darling girl. Now, if you'll pardon me, as I'm sure you can imagine, I have terribly many affairs to tend to. Such chaos to right in the wake of this disaster. I appreciate your concern, but I'm sure you understand I'm quite overcome at the moment. Be sure to close the doors behind you as you leave. And, if I may, the city's in quite a state, as I'm sure you've noticed. Void woken within and without. Civil war between the powers that be. My advice? Leave Arx for fairer ground. No reason to remain. Ah, my darling Lulabelle. Isn't she a beautiful creature? A ray of light during dark times, when even a marriage ceremony can get cut short by tragedy. Oh, yes, a family trip. I'm sure you can understand we're all quite keen on leaving as soon as possible. When Isla's far from Arx, we can put this dreadful matter behind us.
Move on, please. Move on. Move on.
Nothing to see here. Not even today.
Is the pig in this painting wearing a crown?
You've come to serve, yes? Excellent. Bring me my slippers. Chop chop. Aw, it's always so adorable when the peasants pretend they have lives of their own. Ah, yes, the servant returns. What say you, Pin?
Something stinks.
You recognize the trumpet. This is the Queen of Pearls, playing a fanfare for her lover, Duna, the god of all dwarves. A statue of a trumpet-playing dwarf, but something about it smells off. The stone smells of granite and rosewater, but beneath the aroma, a familiar smell lingers. Death fog. And then you see it. The horn of the trumpet connects to a pipe. The pipe disappears into the dirt. The scent of death fog comes from under the ground. You recognize the trumpet.
So much death on such a lovely day. Nice.
Curled upper lip, lightly bobbing head, unwavering gaze, there's no doubting the spirit's distaste of current circumstances. The spirit's sneer intensifies.
A job for the Queen. Now get your scabby lizard mug away from mine.
The spirit of a dwarf guard patrols the garden, oblivious to the fact that he's dead. The spirit of an elven dignitary remains seated in a pew where the wedding unfolded. He stifles a disinterested yawn. The spirit of a dwarven attendee attempts to discreetly sip from a goblet of spectral wine he stashed beneath him. The spirit of a dwarven lady stands eagerly by, as if she's waiting to catch a bouquet. The spirit shoos you away absently, her gaze fixed intently on the arc that the bouquet is taking through the air. The spirit of an elegantly dressed woman glances around, seemingly more interested in the other guests than in the unfolding ceremony. The spirit cocks her eyebrow judgmentally. The spirit of a dwarf watches the ceremony with a scowl. He tugs at his ornate collar in an effort to loosen it. The spirit of a dwarven lady remains rapt by the since-interrupted wedding ceremony. She dabs away some tears with a handkerchief.
Under lock and key.
Come on, through it!
and they look hostile. Time to play.
I'll yield to none.
What is happening out here? Haven't we seen enough tragedy today? I'm not in charge of health and safety. Wait, toys?
He considers the wreckage surrounding the X-cake. Understanding dawns.
That cake, it came from the doctor, with a letter of congratulation. It was truly a magnificent sight, but the wedding was cut short before we could even slice it. Voidwoken, sabotage, bad cake. You'd think someone had it in for our little lady. It's easiest if I show you. Let me see your map.
He shakes his head and whistles as he identifies the doctor's home on your map.
If there was ever a house that was haunted, well, that's the one. They say almost no one gets in, and those who do never come out. Perhaps he feeds them cake, hmm? Few have seen his face, and no one knows his name. He corresponds only by messenger. The townspeople seldom speak of him, which is strange now that I think of it. He'll open your belly and fill it with jelly. The doctor is in, the doctor is in. He'll rip off your toes and shove them up your nose. The doctor is in, the doctor is in. Heard a kid singing that the other day. Her mother heard it too, and beat the poor tyke senseless. That was funny, I have to admit. Gotta take your entertainment where you can when you're on duty. The shadowed house on the eastern cliff. Don't expect a warm welcome. And watch out for the cake. There is little to tell. He's just the doctor. He speaks to few, and few wish to speak of him unless they're desperate. No one even knows his name. Can't say I blame you. I don't want to appear disloyal, but as dwarven weddings go, this one had a tad more blood than usual. A tad.
Come on, throw it! This bouquet's mine. Get in my way and you'll get an elbow in the eye. Come on, throw it! This bouquet's mine. Get in my way and you'll get an elbow in the eye. Come on, throw it! This bouquet's mine. Get in my way and you'll get an elbow in the eye. Come on, throw it! This bouquet's mine. Get in my way
lucky I was posted indoors. That I'd be drawing breath now if I was in the garden.
She looks right through you, face slack with grief.
That I'd be drawing breath now if I was in the garden.
Be brief. Awful. Just awful. I spent a fortune on the decor alone. The Void Woken have made quite a mess of the place. Well, yes, of course. I'm not unsympathetic, you know, but I don't have time for teary eyes and sniffles. So, if you please, I'm sure you've your own burdens to bear.
His insincere smile freezes in place.
Death fog? Why, don't be silly. Those Void Woken probably emit all sorts of noxious gases and odours. But don't you worry, the servants will get it all cleaned up lickety-split. Attack toys, you say? Any other day I wouldn't believe you. Today, nothing can surprise me. What's next? An army of poison toads? Flying crocodiles? Fire-breathing chickens? Looks like I'll need to have a word with the doctor. Right after you've gone. Which should be any moment now, I'm sure.
Ross taps his foot impatiently and steals a glance at his half-packed boxes. The dwarf rubs his temples, his rings glittering rose gold in the light.
What?
People die all the time.
Nothing sacred anymore. Or safe. If that ain't a bad up.
Boring.
Junk.
A spillage all over the floor.
Godwoken, how can I help? Go with...
You always bring this place? No. Arx is clogged with Divine Order lackeys, from what I understand. It's not the sort of town where a girl like me could let her hair down, unfortunately.
I would have preferred a more discreet arrival in Arx myself. I am still a fugitive up.
You must truly savour my company, Godwoken. Something you wanted?
wares I have for hire, but you can't put a price on the glory they'll win.
Oh, come. You must truly savor my company, Godwoken. Something you wanted?
The destination pyramid doesn't answer the call.